Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into something that looks super simple on the surface, a 3D animated script about a young rabbit. But trust me, we're not just reading a kid's story here. We are going to unpack how the structure of this short little script adds some incredibly profound, multi-layered dimensions to a virtue we all struggle with: patience. We're going to see exactly how a basic narrative builds a genuine 3D effect. And I don't just mean the animation style. I'm talking about some serious moral depth.
So how exactly does a simple 3D animated rabbit teach us the most difficult virtue of all? Let's just jump right into that question. Because honestly, how does a 3 or 4 minute children's story hold such deep resonance for our crazy, fast-paced adult lives? I mean, we live in a world where you can get pretty much anything delivered to your front door in a matter of hours, right? Patience is practically a lost art. It's arguably the hardest virtue to cultivate these days. So we're going to break down Rhea the Rabbit's story and see exactly how real patience is built, layer by layer.
Let's start with Dimension 1, the surface level and the illusion of instant success.
Okay, so our story kicks off in this beautiful green forest where we meet our main character, Rhea. She's a sweet, cheerful little rabbit, but there's a huge catch. She is incredibly impatient. This right here is our starting point. It's the flat, surface level of the story where absolutely everything is driven by immediate desire. I mean, right at the beginning of the very first scene, she just blurts out, "I wish I could have something special right now." You got to notice that emphasis on right now. It's an impulse we all know way too well, isn't it? We want the reward, we want the success, and we absolutely do not want to wait for it. It's just human, or, well, rabbit, nature. And that perfectly captures the friction of this first dimension. In Scene 2, Rhea actually finds something special. It's this tiny, glowing magic seed. Naturally, her immediate expectation is that, boom, she plants the seed and she gets a giant tree instantly. But then, reality hits. She plants it, she waits, and absolutely nothing happens. Zero. Rhea basically hits a brick wall. She literally asks, why isn't it growing? She totally expected a magic shortcut, but she's about to learn a tough lesson. Even magic requires a process.
This brings us right to Dimension 2, adding depth through the wisdom of patience.
So to give this 3D narrative some real structural depth, the story deliberately pumps the brakes in Scene 3. Rhea runs into your classic archetype, an old, wise turtle. And serving as a reminder for all of us to just slow down, he tells Rhea a little secret. The magic isn't actually in the glowing seed. Nope. The real magic is found in the layered dimensions of time, care, and patience. When Rhea asks, super incredulously, "So I have to wait?" the turtle says yes. But here's the kicker. It's not passive waiting. He tells her she has to water it every single day and never give up. We're talking about active, dedicated patience here.
The turtle is basically mapping out this crucial passage of time. You've got day 1, which is just the planting. Easy enough. But then comes the grind, those days following where Rhea is out there watering it every single day. And that daily care, that brings a tiny sprout, which later grows into a little tree, until finally we reach the ultimate payoff, a huge, magical tree loaded with delicious golden fruits. Rhea actually puts in the hard work, and by doing that, she proves to herself that patience really does work. The reward is earned, it's not just handed to her.
And now we hit Dimension 3, the final dimension of community and sharing.
This is where the story gets its full, well-rounded 3D shape. It explores what happens after Rhea actually achieves her success. The tree is huge, the golden fruits have arrived. Step 1 was all that hard work we just talked about. But Step 2 throws in this awesome psychological twist. She actively decides not to hoard all those amazing golden fruits for herself. By Step 3, she's actually inviting all the other forest animals, yelling out, "Come everyone, let's share these fruits together." It's such a massive shift. She has completely moved past that initial, kind of self-centered impatience and fully transformed into this incredibly generous friend hosting a giant feast.
And then, as the narrator reveals in this beautiful crescendo, we find out the true magic was never actually the tree. Rhea discovered that the absolute sweetest reward wasn't the fruit itself, it was getting to share it with her friends. That joy of community is what ultimately brings the true 3D effect of this whole narrative to life. Think about it. The first dimension was just her internal desire. The second dimension was her active effort over time. But this third dimension, it's entirely outward. It's all about how her hard-won success actually impacts the world around her.
Which leads us to a multi-dimensional moral.
Let's bring all these layers together to really synthesize the ultimate takeaway from this script. We've journeyed from that initial illusion of instant gratification, right through the gritty discipline of daily care, all the way to the pure joy of communal sharing.
When we break down the final moral exactly as it's laid out in the source text, we see the 3 distinct dimensions you need to turn a raw, magic seed into true, holistic fulfillment. 1. Be patient. You have to endure the wait. 2. Work hard. Apply that daily care just like Rhea watering the soil. And 3. Share what you have with others so you can experience that community joy. Seriously, if you strip away any one of these elements, the whole story just falls flat. It completely loses its 3D depth.
So to wrap up this explainer, I really want you to reflect on your own goals for a second. We all have those magic seeds in our lives, right? Maybe it's a new project, a brand new skill, or even a relationship that we just want to see blossom instantly. Take a moment to consider how adding some time, some active daily care, and ultimately a spirit of sharing might just give your own life that perfect 3D depth. Are you standing there demanding a giant tree immediately, or are you actually willing to pick up the watering can today? Think about that. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and hey, keep tending to your seeds.